They understand this radical from Chicago is trying to reshape America in the form of either a Cuba or another nation. And they don't want it. And they're not going there. And they're not going to be drugged there. They're going to fight. And they're going to stand up, as they have been at the Tea Parties. They don't care what vermin in the media say about them. They're going to fight. And if they have to stand in the streets, in the rain, in the slush, and the snow, that's what it's going to take. And let me tell you something. It's going to get uglier before it gets nicer. Right now, they're going after Michael Savage. I've been banned in one country. I don't know what's coming tomorrow. Now they're trying to destroy Fox News because they dare stand up to them. Now, who is next? Did you see what happened the other day? That degenerate, lowlife front man for the Democrat Party, and never forget this, what I say to you, that fraudulent bum, Chris Matthews, who I have called softball for at least 10 years. That guy worked for the Democrat Party. Did you know that before he was put on television? That lowlife, degenerate bum fantasized about killing Rush Limbaugh. I said killing. He said to kill Rush Limbaugh according to what I'm about to play for you. Now, let me ask you something. Should he be banned from MSNBC? Should he be banned from the BBC? Should he be banned from Britain? Listen to clip 4.
You guys see Live and Let Die, the great Bond film with Yaphet Kotto as the bad guy, Mr. Big. In the end, they jammed a big CO2 pellet in his face, and he blew up. I have to tell you, Rush Limbaugh is beginning to look more and more like Mr. Big. And at some point, somebody's going to jam a CO2 pellet into his head, and he's going to explode like a giant blimp. That day may come. Not yet.
I don't know.
We'll all be there to watch.
You're telling me that lowlife degenerate belongs on television? You're telling me you'll buy another General Electric light bulb? Don't you understand the power you have? Chris Matthews thrown off the air? You know, what goes around comes around. I've put up with this for years. Why don't you fight back and show them where your money goes? I want to tell you something. The day will come that the ban on Michael Savage going to Britain will be lifted because I'm right and they're wrong. Okay, the pill-popping degenerate who runs England will be out of office. There'll be conservatives, more clear-minded, fair-minded people. They may not even agree with me, but they're not going to do this to me. The day will come that my name will be cleared. And I'm going to say to you, it will not have been worth it. It will not have been worth the fight. I have never been through such stress day and night in my life, and I didn't ask for this. And this is not the first time. If you remember last year, illegal immigrant front groups, illegal immigrant drug gangs were outside radio stations. They are fronts for the illegal alien murderers and drug dealers. They pretended that they were for illegal aliens, but they're not, damn it! When are you going to wake up to the fact that actual gangs are lobbying actual senators and congressmen? When are you going to come to understand that my fight is your fight? When? When are you going to come to understand it? All right, let's go to the callers. San Diego. Chris, you're on the Savage Nation.
Hey, Michael, this is Chris. I'm currently a college student in Southern California at a junior college, and I was going to use your name as a resource for a paper, and my professor told me that you weren't a viable source to reference in a paper, and you didn't deserve the credit as far as...
I'll tell you what you do. You send me the professor's name in the class, and we're going to sue him. And then I'll compare my credentials against that nothing. Who is this professor? Name him on the air. What is her background? Does she have a Ph.D.?
She majored in the women's studies.
Oh, she majored in women's studies, huh? And where'd she get a degree? Out of a Cracker Jack box?
No, those fools said...
What'd she buy? Some woman's apparel and she got a degree with it? I'll compare my credentials to her every day, and I'll tell you something else. I have written 25 books. I have an earned Ph.D. If that doesn't qualify for a verifiable source, what does it say about her?
Not much.
Well, don't be afraid. Send me her name, her exact quote, and we'll have my attorney get in touch with her. We'll find out who's a viable source. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. If you do, that's fine. I'm going to take every case like this, and I'm going to jam it down their illegitimate throats. I've just begun to fight. If you think I'm ready to roll over, you're mistaken. I have just begun to fight. They keep pushing me. They're going to see what happens. I'll drive both parties out of business. I have said to you I'll never go into politics, didn't I? Well, let me tell you something. That's off the table. This keeps up. This keeps up. I know what I'll do with the rest of my life. I will drive these illegitimate communists out of business. I'm telling you right now. I'll start with the Senate seat. I'll drive one of these corrupt Brooklynite lowlifes back to the ghetto that she came from. I'll send her back to the slum she came crawling out of. You mark my words. You don't think it's time for a third party? You don't think it's time for a guy like me to stand up and knock one of these people out of office? I can guarantee you I can do it. Let him keep pushing me. You'll see what I'm made of. You'll see what I'm made of. You'll see if I'm ready to roll over. Ronald Reagan didn't become president until he was 72 years of age. I'm not in politics. I said I would never go into politics. But I have never seen a country in such bad shape right now as this country is right now, meaning a country that was once so great. It was ripped off by George Bush and the Treasury Secretary. They robbed you blind. They robbed me blind. They destroyed the economy on purpose. They sacked the Treasury. And I warned you Bush would do it. 6 months out, I said to you, he's not finished yet. You watch what he does in the last 3 months. I was prescient. I warned you that he was just warming up. I called Bush a fiscal socialist. I knew who that family was. I've seen it for years. Bush destroyed the conservative movement. Bush bankrupted the Treasury with his so-called Treasury Secretary, who's hiding somewhere in Michigan. Many people think he's responsible for the debacle on Wall Street and in the banks. And now what do we have? Now we have a man coming in with a cape and a sword, ready to stab the bull and put him down for good. Okay? The matador is here. George Bush was only a picador compared to Obama. Obama is the matador to George Bush the picador. Sheila, Chicago, you're on the Savage Nation.
Yeah. Hi, Michael. I just want to tell you that I'm pretty much shocked and outraged by the lack of support you're getting from the conservative radio stations and Fox News.
Good. I don't blame you. They're not conservatives. You know who they are. They're opportunists.
And if you're treated like that, then what's going to be left for the rest of us who don't have anybody to represent us? We feel like
I don't know. Ask Sean Hannity. Ask him why he doesn't do it. Ask O'Reilly. Ask them all.
I don't know who to ask because I'm so frustrated. I feel like our country's being taken over, and if they're not going to support you and what's going on with you, who's going to support anybody else?
Well, my friend, I'm not crying out for help. I'm perfectly capable of defending myself. And all I need are my listeners, and many, many people have contributed a lot of money to my legal defense fund. We're fighting this in court. I could do without fraudulent help from people in the media. That's all I could say. They want to do it. It's to their advantage. I'm going to win in the end. My name will be taken off the list, and they're not going to share in that victory. And the listeners, by the way, are in droves writing Fox News. They're telling Fox News that the cat is out of the bag, and they know who they are. Believe me, this is not helping their cause. And I'd rather that they stood with me so I could stand with them. You know what I'm saying?
I wish they would, because they should be behind you 100%.
Well, they have jealousies and they have political reasons of their own. I don't know what they may be. But as I say, you got to support Fox News right now, even though they don't support me. I've got to be the bigger person for the bigger battle, and I thank you very much for the call. Look, the good news is that Gerd Wilders, who was banned from Britain, has been basically found not guilty by a higher authority than the pill popper's Home Secretary, Jackie Smith, okay?